Jananeem Sharadam Devi Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukaswarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. My dear devotees, we had entered for the fourth sutra. In the previous sutra, we had seen by devotion, by practicing the path of devotion, that is Bhakti Yoga, what happens? Or what is devotion? It is the nature of immortality. It is the nature of love and supreme love, and also it is the nature of immortality. So here, the same thing has been continued. By real devotion, sincere devotion, or by supreme devotion, what happens to that? For an example, you can remember here, Bhagavad Gita shloka, Name Bhakta Pranashyati. Lord himself says, whoever follows me, whoever is a devotee, he will never get perished, whatever circumstance may be. Because probably these are the questions many people, either among your relatives, friends, they ask, oh, I see that you go to ashram. You do listen to some satsangs. You do listen to religious discourses. What happens? Why do you get into it? Instead of that, you can have a merrymaking, you can have a fun, you can go outside, out picnic or whatever. You are going to ashram, isn't? Is it anyway useful? How are you getting benefit? So this is a general question many times among friends, relatives, friends, they do ask us. So similarly, when I do all these spiritual practices, we have to control our mind, we have to control our senses, we have to control our desires, they say. We should have a discrimination, they say. So by this, what happens? Here, the author, the celestial sage, Narada is telling, Yat labdva puman siddho bhavati, amrito bhavati, trupto bhavati. Bhavati means becomes, it is a verb. By attaining that supreme devotion, here Puman means is not masculine gender, here just a devotee, a being. The devotee, he attains what? He becomes perfect. Siddhaha bhavati, he becomes perfect. Amrito bhavati or amrutaha bhavati, he becomes imachal. And trupto bhavati, he becomes ever satisfied. So three things the author is telling. One is he becomes perfect. The second is immortal. The third is trupta, ever satisfied. So these are the three words which are very important. Probably I was thinking, maybe as a matter of an experiment, and also to understand your interest in this subject, I will take this one sutra for this entire class today. This one sutra, depending on different scriptures, we can discuss for 2-3 hours. Already in my first class or second class, I had mentioned that the sutra has told the vast idea or the big idea has been given in a very cryptic way, because it is a suyate, means it is just for a remembrance. It is a suggestion. So this sutra, if it goes on explaining the inner meaning of that, it can run pages after pages. So probably we'll make an experiment in today's hours class. Let us see how much you will be able to observe or you will be able to understand. Why? Because in the Vishnu Sahasrama, in the word Vishnu itself, Madhvacharya, the great exponent of the Dvaita philosophy, Dvaita school of philosophy, he started explaining the meaning of Vishnu. Around 20-30 meanings he explained. And afterwards he said, this is enough. Why? More than that, you cannot comprehend. There are still many different different shades of meaning. At least I can say 100, but more than this, you will not be able to grasp. So this is enough. That's what Acharya, Madhvacharya says. So like this one sutra can go pages after pages. You can bring here Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, you can bring Chandogya Upanishad here, and you can bring the Gnana here, and you can bring Mukundamala here. Shivandalar is Avadi Shankaracharya's references can be understood from this particular shloka. Mukundamala, Narayaniam, of course, this Mukundamala, Narayaniam, these are famous in southern part of India. So all these things can be explained or can be understood from this one sutra, the sutra number 4. So here, this aphorism is directly mentioning or directly referring to the intrinsic nature of bhakti. Now, first, let us see Siddha Bhavati. The devotee who has got that supreme love, who attains supreme love, he attains perfection. So what is this perfection we mean? Here already in previous class I was mentioning, Siddha or Siddhi means immediately we remember of occult powers. We remember of supernatural powers. For an example, some saints, they can cure diseases. Some saints can, for an example, a person has got a burning sensation as a skin allergy, or he or she has got some tuberculosis or leprosy, whatever. The saint touches him or her, immediately his or her diseases is cured. Then we worship that particular person as a great saint, as a god. Generally, that is the thing. And in Semitic religions, they expect that if it has to be, he or she has to be a saint, he or she should perform miracles during their lifetime. Otherwise, they will not be considered as the saints. But in India, in Indian context, or from Sanatana Dharma point of view, they say it is a byproduct. If you are advanced in spiritual life, either in the path of Gnana or in the path of yoga means Patanjali yoga, or in the path of devotion, when you are advanced in the spiritual life or in your respective path, you may get the superpowers, supernatural powers or occult powers, but we should not give importance to it. Why? Because it may distract, it may sideline from our main goal. So here Siddha means it is not supernatural powers or it is not occult powers like Anima, Garima, Mahima, etc., etc. Here Siddhi means it is desired goal. Here contextually we have to understand Siddhi means desired goal. So who has attained that goal is called Siddha. So what is the desired goal here? From the path of love, path of devotion, from the Bhakti Yoga point of view, here the desired goal is having complete devotion, complete love towards God. And why should we add an adject, complete love towards God? Because now also we are loving God, no doubt. But we love God, we love world, we love XYZ, we love person, we love worldly objects, we love power and position, name and fame. So our part of love or our part of mind is only loving the God, or it is seeking the God, but it is not completely, our mind is not seeking the God. But here, for him whose mind is completely absorbed in God, he wants that supreme love and love alone. Such type of person, he attains Siddhi, means he attains perfection. So such perfection is being told. Means in a one sentence or in a two words, if you want me to say, it is complete absorption. Complete absorption at the feet of God. So when you get this love, what happens? You become perfect. Why? Because there is nothing to be achieved. For an example, now I have got a particular skill. I am very good at it. For an example, I am a mathematician. I am very good at mathematics. I'm good at mathematics. Probably I might have got Nobel Prize. And I've been called by different reputed universities across the globe. Fine. But tomorrow, a young chap, he may refute me, or he may bring one more formula, one more theorem. From that, probably all my accomplishments may go down. So how much ever we accomplish in the external world, it is not that we are perfect. There is lacuna always. For example, even particular skill I have acquired completely, there is no complete. Still it can be acquired, still it can be refined, still it can be done better. Whereas here, the person who has got complete devotion or real devotion, he becomes complete in itself. Why? Because it takes to the perfection. The God itself resembles, the God himself represents that perfection. After attaining God, there is nothing else to be attained. In this world, worldly pursuits, we achieve many things, we accomplish many things, but still we may feel, some of us, we may feel, okay, it should have been done, it could have been done, that can be done, this can be done, we all feel. But by attaining that supreme devotion, we will become perfect. Means we don't aspire for anything else. We don't want anything else. Such a thing we attain. And also from the point of moksha or mukti, the perfect, that is, will be free from this samsara, that is cycle of birth and death. Even from that point also, we can say that you become perfect. Probably on the lighter side, we can see that once a devotee, just a person comes and asks Sri Ramakrishna, oh, we hear that there is a Paramahamsa here. He's asking Sri Ramakrishna himself, because Sri Ramakrishna was just wearing a simple white cloth. So he thought Paramahamsa means he will have some big ash, and he will have a Rudrakshi mala, and he will have a paraphernalias and all. But Sri Ramakrishna was a very simple man. So he thought that he's some guy. So that person came and asked, a visitor came and asked for Sri Ramakrishna, oh, I hear that there is a Ramakrishna, there is a Paramahamsa here. I think he can cure disease, isn't? Where is he? And that visitor is asking Sri Ramakrishna himself. Sri Ramakrishna didn't like, he got disgusted from this answer. He said, oh, no, he's not here. Better you go to such and such a place. There is a person, there is a sadhu who can cure that type of disease. Sri Ramakrishna was capable of that, but he was never, happy to listen such type of things for curing diseases and all. Here I think Madhavanandji, one of the president of our order, says, when someone asks about like particular sadhu or particular monk, we should not take in a negative sense. Only for understanding we have to take this, that there are so many people there. There's a big queue in front of that monk or that saint. But whereas we don't see in this Ramakrishna Ashrama, Ramakrishna mission being such a great people, why it is? He says, my dear, if today or tomorrow, if I start curing the diseases, if I start blessing the people, okay, you can have a marriage, you will have a son or you will have a daughter or whatever. So even in 2-3 days, we can also have that big queue in front of Belur. And definitely, we are all powerful to have that, to bless the devotees like that, no doubt. But we don't want to do that. Sri Ramakrishna didn't come for that, and we, the disciples and the children of Sri Ramakrishna, we are also not for that. That is reason only sincere people, they do come here, who want God and God alone. So that's what, in our order tradition, we don't give any importance at all for the miracles. And from one more angle, you can say, okay, by attaining devotion, how can one become perfect? How once you attains the devotion completely means what? You will have a complete surrender to the Lord. That means your individual ego ceases to exist. Your ego gets merged with the cosmic ego. That is called actually individuality. In one of the Vedantic lecture, probably in the Lahore lecture, I think Swamiji discusses about this particular unique point. Individuality means, oh, when I understand that Brahman, when I realize that Brahman, my individuality, I lose it because I get merged in the Brahman, isn't it? So then what is the use of to have that this so-called pig individuality? He uses the word pig individuality. He says that individuality means it is actually indivisibility. Individuality means indivisibility, the real meaning of individuality. And when we have the devotion, when we have complete surrender towards the Lord, what happens? Our individual ego, petty ego, unripened ego becomes ripened, and this individual ego gets merged in the cosmic ego. That's where we can understand. Sri Ramakrishna used to say always, what do I know? Everything as mother wishes, Ma janen, he used to say. So that's how he becomes perfect. Because of this individual unripened ego only, we are thinking that we are doer, we are enjoyer, and that is the root cause for our even birth and death also. The moment this individual ego ceases to exist, then there is no individuality, so-called this individuality, and also there will be no more birth and death. We'll be free from this samsara. And also we can think here, Holy Mother says that if my disciple goes to even Naraka, to the hell, even I will go and I will hold him or her back. I will bring him or her back. Means what? Because once the God's grace happens, we become perfect and we become immortal also. And also from one more point, I think we can think, since God is unlimited, since God is perfect, by loving him, we also become perfect, or we also become unlimited. So these are the few different shades of meaning which we can think of Siddha Bhavati, who attains perfection. Because after attaining that supreme love, then there's nothing else to be attained. And he doesn't need anything. He doesn't crave for anything. He doesn't like to do anything. He will be completely ever satisfied. That ever satisfied, I will take. Now the second is Amrutaha Bhavati. Means he becomes immortal. How to understand this immortality? If you see in the Puranas, in the mythology, even in the Egypt mythology, we can see also this, that everyone wants to live eternally. The Rakshasas the demons used to do thousands of years of tapasya, penance. And once the Lord of the creation, the Brahma Deva used to appear, they used to ask, oh Brahma Deva, please bless me so that let me live eternally. Or let me not have a death. Let me not have a death means what? I should live eternally in this empirical world. Brahmadeva, there's a routine dialogue that Brahmadeva in the Puranas we see. Whoever has read the Puranas, we know that Brahmadeva is said that no, except that you can ask anything. Why? Because it is against nature, it is against law, it is against cosmic law, it is against creation. Whoever has taken a birth, he has to die, including gods and goddesses. Gods and goddesses means demigods. A small g, I mean to say. That means what? Why? Because everyone wants to be immortal. But unfortunately, the demons are misunderstanding that immortality with respect to body, this physical body. And sometimes, for an example, even in Semitic religions, it is there, this concept, and also in the dualistic schools of Vedanta, even in Sanatan Dharma, or even in the Puranas, in the mythology stories also, this tinge of desire is seen, that I would like to go to heaven. I would like to go to Pitruloka. I would like to go to the above worlds. Why? Because there, in the subtle form, I will be there. I will not have this physical body. I will have the subtle body, and I can enjoy for thousands of years, it seems. Hundreds of years, thousands of years, for centuries, we can enjoy. Yes, you can enjoy for centuries, maybe, but afterwards, you have to come back. Shene punne martyalokam vishanti. That's what we see in the Bhagavad Gita. As soon as your karma gets exhausted, your virtue is exhausted, just like once your bank balance is exhausted, even though you have got a debit card, you cannot draw the money, you cannot swipe. So similarly, once your karma is exhausted, you have to take birth in this mundane world, in this empirical world, and again you have to start accumulation of the virtue. Means in the physical form and in the subtle form, this immortality is not at all possible. Then, how do we attain immortality? How can we become immortal? That means what? By understanding oneself, my true nature, only we can become immortal from the path of knowledge we know. From the path of devotion, when we worship the Lord, who is the embodiment of immortal, when we have that supreme devotion and supreme love towards immortal God, I also become immortal. This is in a logical sense, we can understand. To understand this abstract concept, Sri Ramakrishna gives a beautiful, the conversation between Sri Ramakrishna and Naren, we can think here. Whoever has read Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna will be able to remember. Once, Sri Ramakrishna asked Naren, young chap Naren, suppose there is a nectar of love in a vessel. How would you like to enjoy it? There is a big vessel of nectar of love. How would you like to enjoy this? Naren said, oh, I will sit at the corner of the vessel and I will try to sip few drops, drop by drop, I will try to sip from there. Sri Ramakrishna laughingly, with smile, laughingly says, why don't you go inside? Why don't you go inside? Why don't you get inside and why don't you enjoy the nectar? Narada says, no, I may die. Because once I get into that and if I get slip, just like I'm taking the water, if I get slip and if I get into the river or water body, I may die if I don't know swimming. So similarly, because since it's a big well and I'm a small, maybe a tiny mosquito or what like, if I am sipping it, if by chance, perchance, accidentally, if I fall in there, then I will die, isn't it? That's the reason, just at the brim of the vessel, I would like to stay and I will try to enjoy the nectar. Sri Ramakrishna laughs and says, oh, it is not of that nature. When one drowns in that love, one never dies, he becomes immortal. He becomes immortal. He becomes Amrita Swarupi. That's what Sri Ramakrishna tells. One who tastes it, he also becomes immortal. So here, Amrito Bhavati, we remember. So Amrito Bhavati, Sri Ramakrishna also tells. By enjoying the divine love, by enjoying the divine nectar, once one becomes immortal. That's what Celestial says, Narada is telling. For this, we can understand very clearly by Sri Ramakrishna's gospel. And when you are thinking little seriously, even in depth, from this itself, the implication comes is, that means what? It is not attainable by any effort. Why? Because if anything is achieved by our efforts, by our hard work, that is a product. If anything is a product, that is a perishable. That's what we see logically. If anything is a product which is achieved by hard work, that is perishable, that is temporary, that is limited from time and space causation. That means this divine love, the bhakti, is not the product. It is the implication. One who has got little philosophical understanding, more and more philosophy, who has understood in depth, they will be able to understand this probably. Otherwise, sometimes it may be difficult. I can understand. That means what? The love, the supreme love, is not the result of our actions. The supreme love is not the result of our spiritual practice. The supreme love is not the result of our control of mind and control of desires or control of senses. Oh, that means then why should I do sadhana? Why should I get up early morning and why should I sit for meditation? Why should I sit for japam? Why should I do japam? Then, oh, that's beauty. If the devotion is not the product of any hard work, then I can have a merry life. Let me enjoy from today. Okay, I've got a license. Immediately, our mind will start thinking. Then otherwise, because any of bhakti or this divine love is not the product of any hard work. It is not the product of any penance. It is not the product of spiritual practice. Then why should I do? Let me enjoy. Let me enjoy life. Then we'll see at some point of time we will get devotion. Then we will have that, because since it is not a product. Then why should we do all these things? So sadhana, why we should do with all the difficulties, with great labor, hard labor. Why? Because it is only to remove the impurities. Just like there was a beautiful sunshine, I think 2 days before, I went for a walk. By seeing that I got tempted, I went for a walk. Maybe just from Vedanta Society, I had just crossed Ladies' Well School, and I was going to the main road nearby. Immediately, a thick cloud came and covered the sun, and the sunlight went off, and I started feeling chill. Then after but still I continued my walk. After 5-10 minutes, the cloud passed away. Then again, I was getting sunlight and I started enjoying it. So earlier I was enjoying it, and a thick patch of cloud came and covered the sun, and I was not getting the sunlight. That means, sun is not there? No, is there, but it has been covered by thick patch of clouds. So similarly, that divine love, it is there in us already in the form of Ananda. But due to ignorance, it has been covered, and we are aspiring that Ananda in this world and worldly products, worldly possessions, worldly achievements, worldly accompaniments. with the people, with the situations, or with the things, and all these things. So why should we do sadhana? Just to clean our mind, to clean our impure mind. Just for an example, there's a beautiful sunlight. My room is east side. So today morning 5:30 itself, I was getting beautiful sunlight. Say for an example, or for argument's sake, it has been covered by completely dust. And there was something, cooking was done outside, and that oil stains and all has covered the glass, you say, thing, then definitely I will not get complete sunlight after a few days. Why? Because the glass is completely covered with the dirty things, dirt. The moment I clean the glass, then I'll be able to get the sunlight completely, isn't it? And I'll be able to see the reflection of the sun or the reflection of the objects, whatever is there outside the glass, other side of the glass. So similarly, that supreme love or devotion is there already in us, but only we are not able to experience, we are not able to enjoy, we are not able to perceive because of the dirt, because of the mental impurities. So sadhana, we are doing a lot of sadhana. Either you say karma yoga or bhakti yoga, gnana yoga, raja yoga, or any yoga you take, it is all nothing but the clearing the impurities. It is all washing out impurities. Just like we put our clothes for the washing machine and we wash. So similarly, we are trying to wash out all our impurities. And how to understand this? Again, we can take here, all these abstract concepts has been beautifully narrated, beautifully explained, either by stories or by simple teachings of the great people. Here we can remember Holy Mother's statement. Holy Mother says, Sri Ramakrishna's divine grace is ever flowing, just like Malaya Maruta. But only we have to unfurl. For an example, in the olden days, we used to have a boats and with the flag like a, whenever they used to have a wind, particularly wind, they used to unfurl it, and based on that wind, that force of the cloth, it used to take particular direction, it used to have a movement. So similarly, we have to unfurl that cloth, Holy Mother says. So similarly, for an, or still the better example is, for an example, I have got an old phone, which was meant for 2G or 3G. Now we have got 4G and 5G. 5G also, some of the countries we are getting. Where is 5G? I'm not able to see. My phone is not getting it. Yes, because it is meant for only 2G or 3G. The moment you get the updated phone, the new phone, it will be able to receive the 4G or 5G frequencies. Already it was there, but the instrument was not ready to receive it. So similarly, this mind called instrument, we have to prepare from sadhana to receive the divine grace, to enjoy that divine love, which is there already in us. The divine grace is ever flowing. The supreme love is already hidden in us. Only we are not feeling, we are not able to experience. Why? Because of the impurities of the mind. When you remove the dross, when you remove that impurities, then you'll be able to enjoy. So from this point, Amrutaha Bhavati means it is already my intrinsic nature, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not aware of it. By sadhana, spiritual sadhana, the moment the mind is cleared, the mind is cleaned, when the mind becomes pure, I'll be able to enjoy this. Probably here we can remember Ananda Deva Kalvimani Bhutani Jayanti Anandena Jivanti Anandam Prayantya Bisam Vishanti. Taittiriya Upanishad. From that love or supreme joy, the whole world comes, and in it, the entire world exists, and ultimately, into that supreme joy, this world gets dissolved. And what is that supreme joy? That is what nothing but the Brahman or Atman. The Gnani says, and Bhakta says, it is God. And that is my intrinsic nature. So here from this point also we can understand the Sri Ramakrishna's example or Sri Ramakrishna's philosophy that whatever either you take from the path of knowledge, from the path of devotion or path of karma, all three ends at same place, or all the three will take you to the same place. And also how to understand this Amrutaha Bhavati. All this conditioning will be removed by our sadhana. What do you mean by conditioning? For an example, in the sleep, sleep is a conditioning, deep sleep. In deep sleep, what happened? We don't know what happened. So do you exist? It is difficult to say whether I exist or not in deep sleep. If I exist, I should be conscious. If I am conscious, I am not deep sleep. I don't have deep sleep. If I have got a deep sleep, then I am not conscious of it. So it is a very tricky question, whether I am existing or not. Here the scripture says that yes, you are existing, but you are not aware of it. That is what annihilation. I mean, deep sleep is not annihilation, it is only condition. So similarly, even in the dreams state also, our mind is conditioned. And in the waking state also, our mind is conditioned. And this immortality, the moksha, is unconditioned mind. When our mind is cleansed, when our mind is pure from all the dross or from all the dirt, what happens? Our mind becomes unconditioned. That is what non-judgmental. That's what we see in Swami Vivekananda's Karma Yoga. By helping others, what happens? We are getting benefited. What is happening? We get, it is a top of moral exercise from this. Means we will lose the judgmental quality. We lose the judgmental quality. We stop thinking that he is good, he is bad, or the world is good, the world is bad. No, neither the world is good nor the bad. It is as it is, and we start accepting as it is things, non-judgmental. That is told from Buddhist point of view in the mindfulness. That's what Buddhists say, that it as mindfulness. So one idea, if you go deeply, everything gets slowly connected. And one more thing, from one more point or from one more angle, this Amrutaha Bhavati. I think you are not missing the track. Amrutaha Bhavati, we are there. First point, Siddhaha Bhavati is over. Now we are discussing Amrutaha Bhavati. Because when we go deep, slowly, we will forget where we are. So just to remind you, I'm saying that we are in Amrutaha Bhavati. We become immortal. The devotee becomes immortal. One more angle of this Amrutaha, we can say that he becomes completely free. Now, for an example, I'm a billionaire. I'm one of the top 10 rich people in Ireland. Am I not a free person? No, I'm not. Why? This from two or three standpoints, or from 2-3 different angles we can think, we can understand. One is, I may be billionaire. I may have got all the riches, no doubt, but I may be the slave of the senses. I may be the slave of the mind. I may be the slave of my desires. That's the reason I'm not a free person. I don't have freedom. And the second thing is, a common person, if he does a small mistake, probably he may lose few bucks, few hundreds of rupees or few euros. But a billionaire, if he makes a small if he takes a wrong decision in his business, what happens? Thousands of euros, lakhs of euros, he can incur loss. So the more he has got this, and the more challenges also. He has to be very vigilant, he has to be more alert or whatever. So there is not completely free person. He may be millionaire, he may be billionaire, he might have got so many prizes, so many awards, he's a celebrity, he has got a fan following, all that may be, but he's not the free person. Until otherwise he becomes free from desires. He is the master of his mind and senses and desires, then only he becomes free person. And Bhakti Rasayana, there's a beautiful book, Bhakti Rasayana, the beautiful text. It also says that with the opening verse. Bhakti is the supreme goal of man's endeavor. It is incomparable and unalloyed bliss. And in Narayaniam also says that devotion to God, which is sweet in the beginning, sweet in the middle, sweet in the end, and it gives the highest bliss. And he becomes the immortality. Now I was giving introduction for the third quality or a third adjective or nature, that is Truptaha Bhavati. So there they are saying devotion to God, Narayaniam says, which is sweet in the beginning, sweet in the middle, and sweet in the end, and it gives the highest bliss. So here the third quality we shall try to understand as Truptaha Bhavati. Means he becomes ever satisfied. I mean, there's a beautiful story. I mean, that one grandee was sitting. A grandee was sitting. I mean, a grandpa, grandma, both they were talking, and they were sitting in front of the house, and they were chatting, both of them. There was a particular dish was made. It was fried also, and it was bit hard comparatively. Young chaps and whoever has got strong teeth, they can munch. But this both Old people, they never had natural teeth. Natural teeth had fallen. They were using the artificial teeth. Knowing all these things, the grandson, just to have a fun, he brought that particular dish that, oh, grandpa, grandma, would you like to have this? He knows that these people have got that artificial teeth. They cannot munch. Their teeth are not that strong. But just to have a fun or play, he brought it. Then grandpa says, you, my dear, don't you know that I don't have a strong teeth like you guys? Oh, you are not able to eat. So you can't eat. So you don't want to eat. That's what the grandson was expecting an answer. The grandpa said, no, you go to your mother and you ask, let her munch, let her make into pieces or a powder like, and let me eat it. See, teeth have fallen. He has become old. Probably his stomach may not be able to digest that hard thing or oily thing, but still he wants to enjoy. So probably the same dish or the same item he might have ate for a long time. N number of times he might have ate, but still his desires are not satisfied. This is what we see in our day-to-day life. I wanted, for an example, this example I used to give often in the India, because that is very prevalent, such type of mindset. Initially, we thought we should have a good schooling. Okay, we had good schooling. At the end of graduation or master's, we thought I should have a decent job. Okay, I got a decent job. Then I said, it is little, cumbersome. Probably I should have a less work and more salary. And my boss should be good. And my manager should be good, etc., etc. But luckily we got it. And we say, okay, I should have 4-wheelers. I got it. Then I should have a better one's BMW car. I got it. I wanted a house. I got it. Like this, n number of things we will have in our list in the life, most of the time, in most of our life. So how much ever we get, we are not satisfied. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. Whereas a devotee, the real devotee, will be ever satisfied. He'll be completely satisfied. Truptaha bhavati, will be completely satisfied. The same thing we can see, Shri Krishna also tells in Bhagavad Gita in the 6th chapter. Yam labdva chaparam labham manyate nadikam tataha yasmin stitona dukkena gurunapi vichalyate. Means, having gained or attained that supreme devotion state, one does not consider anything to be greater. Being thus established, one is not shaken even in the midst of the greatest calamity, because he will not have any fear of death. He doesn't want anything, is complete in itself, is ever satisfied, and there is nothing to be achieved for him. There's nothing greater than the Lord or the God or the self. That's a reason he will be at peace. It is not that all things are favorable for him and he has got everything in the life, whatever he wants. No, it is not that. But the nature of this devotion is, it gives a tremendous satisfaction, everlasting satisfaction, so that he doesn't grieve for anything else. The same thing we can see in Shivananda Lahari, a beautiful Sanskrit composition by Adi Shankaracharya. The meaning, Naratvam, Devatvam, like this, that phrase goes, there, the Acharya says that, let me born as a man, or a god, or an animal, or a tree, or a worm, or a bird. If my heart is immersed in the love of thy blessed lotus feet, what do I care for any kind of body? You see, that is the mindset of a devotee. Whether you give this or you give that, whatever it may come, whatever it may go, is not perturbed, is not bothered. He will not be seeking for anything else. And same thing we can see in the Mukunda Mala also. Those who have surrendered completely to the Lord, their mindset will be, their souls to me do not care for anything except myself. Not even the status of Brahma, the God creator, the creator God, or Indra, who is the king or the head of all the demigods, or even for the kingmanship or emperor, or for lordship of this entire world, or for any psychic powers or natural power, supernatural powers. Not even freedom from rebirth, because he is ever satisfied. Truptaha bhavati. Even the Mukunda Mala also explains the nature of a devotee. The same thing we can see in Koka Maharaj's life. Koka Maharaj means Swami Subodhananji. who was one of the apostle, monastic disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. Once at midnight, Swamiji wanted good is a part of a type of smoking. He had asked for that. Occasionally, Swamiji used to have it, and Subodhanji prepared and he gave him, and he was having it and he enjoyed. And the way Swami Subodhanji served Swami Vivekananda, he was very happy. So Swamiji, the Shiva, Lord Shiva himself, is asking, Koka. Koka means child in Bengali. What do you want? Whatever you want, you ask. Whatever you ask me, I will fulfill your desire. I'll fulfill your wish. You ask for anything. Then Kokamara started scratching his head. What can I ask for? Everything he has got. The whole, so much he thought. He is not, nothing is getting to his mind that I want this or I want that. After thinking a lot, but he initially was not interested. I think Raja Maharaj says, Swami Brahmanji says, see, Lord Shiva himself is asking, Swamiji himself is asking. It is not that simple. Swamiji doesn't ask like this. You don't miss this opportunity. Don't miss this chance. Make use of it. Then after thinking a lot, because he was very fond of tea, he asked, Swamiji, wherever I am there, every morning I should have a cup of tea. So please bless me that I should have a cup of tea. And Swamiji heartily said yes. And afterwards we come to know that till the end of his life, wherever he is there, Swami Subodhanji, he never missed tea. You see, such people. The Lord Shiva himself was asking, what do you want? He asked that just let me have a cup of tea. So this is what in the great people. The same thing we can see in the life of Chandramani Devi, the mother of Sri Ramakrishna. Whoever has read life of Chandramani Devi, everyone will in knowing that probably she never had a very rich life or a life of comforts. Just when she was young itself, because her husband, Shudiram Chattopadhyay, never told a lie, and because for telling the truth, he had to lost his house, he had to lost his land, etc., etc. Then one of his friends brought to Kamarpur from their village, and a piece of land and a small piece of even hut was given. So with a square meal, they had led their life. Now Chandramani Devi was staying with Sri Ramakrishna in Calcutta. And this Mathurnath Vishwas, who is a rich landlord, he asked once Chandramani Devi, Mother, you are the mother of my master, Sri Ramakrishna. And if he has taken birth in your womb, definitely you are a great lady. By serving you, probably I will be also blessed. Please tell me, because I asked your son, he never accepted anything. At least you tell me, what do you want? I can give anything you want. You want money, you want gold, you want land, anything I can give you. Please ask for it. Imagine a rich landlord is asking something, probably will start thinking, giving a list, or at least one or two big things we may ask. But she also scratched her head for a long time. He said, son, my dear son, I've got everything. Means I've got to cover my body, I've got a clothes, and to have a square meal, have a sumptuous meal. Then what else? To live here, and I've got a place. Then again he paged us, no, you should ask for something, you should ask for something. Then she asked, just one pie, means or 1 euro, or 1 euro of tobacco powder, which she used to munch. So she asked for 1 euro of tobacco powder. So this is the simplicity, Chandramani Devi. Then Mathurnath Vishwas, he prostrates to that old lady and says, now I can understand why Sri Ramakrishna took birth in your womb only. Why in your house only and why in your womb only? You see, we are asking, what do you want? Any riches, any amount of rich I am ready to give. But you are asking a pie of tobacco powder. Nothing else. Means she was also ever satisfied lady. Truptaha bhavati. So all these great devotees, either they are rich or poor, are they in the problems or in the comfortable place or comfortable position, they never bothered about all these things because their mind was completely taken over or completely absorbed in this divine love, in this divine nectar of love. They never wanted anything else. So it is not of insensitivity. It is not due to helplessness. Rather, they have transcended all these things. They have understood the real purpose. They know what is real, and they have enjoyed that great supreme bliss. They have enjoyed that great supreme bliss. So they don't feel anything else. They don't give any value, or they don't have any value to this world or worldly objects. So by this we can understand, once we get devotion, once we are endowed with this devotion, what happens? Three things. One is we become perfect, that is Siddha Bhavati. The second is Amrito Bhavati. One becomes immortal. He will be free from cycle of birth and death. He becomes perfect. He becomes immortal. And the third is he becomes Truptaha, means he becomes ever satisfied. He doesn't want anything else. Whatever it may come, he doesn't bother. He doesn't seek anything else. He'll be ever satisfied. He'll be satisfied in himself, we can say, or we can say is satisfied in the presence of Lord, in the holy feet of Lord. So one sutra we can go on explaining, or we can trying to understand from different angles or from different shades of meaning. We can take the help of Brahma Sutra, we can take the help of Pradharnika, we can take the help of Chandogya, we can take the help of Bhagavad Gita. All these things still we'll be able to understand. If we can go deep in with one word, different shades of meaning, we'll be able to understand. Just I thought today we'll go a little deep and we'll try to give a taste that one sutra, how we can go deep, and from one sutra, how we can speak volumes. Thank you.